What's going on, guys? This is Joe. I am here for our first Ixalan draft on the channel. I've done some pre-releases, but I haven't gotten to do any drafts yet. This is going to be my first one. Our rare that we open, if my computer wants to help me out here, there we go. Verdant Sun's Avatar. So it's a 5/5 for 7. Gaining life equal to toughness. There's also a 2-mana ramp creature. But there's also this Imperial Aerosaur. I like this card quite a bit. There's 2 good green cards here, so we'd kind of be fighting for it. Plus there's a Pounce here. Whereas the Imperial Aerosaur is really the only, I guess there's the Sunrise Seeker. It's the only real white card. I also like blue in this format, which is run aground. That's not a bad card either. I think I'm going to take the Imperial Aerosaur here. Verdant Sun's Avatar is a little expensive, and the Drover's good, but I don't know that we're automatically ramping. But I like the Aerosaur. All right, so we open a Glacial Fortress. That's not necessarily something I'm looking for, even though I said that I liked blue. There's another Pounce here. There's an Unfriendly Fire. That card's great. I like River Sneak, but if we're not Merfolk, the card gets a lot worse, because then it's just a 1/1 unblockable for 2, which is terrible. Shaper Apprentice is nice. I don't mind a Bishop Soldier. Vicious Conquistador is cool. It's a 1-drop, which is nice. And if we are in white, then black is a nice combo if we want to go vampires. Because white-blue really isn't a color combination despite the Glacial Fortress. The fact that my promo Glacial Fortress from pre-release is still in the package should give you an indication. But maybe I go Vicious Conquistador here. I don't know that I'm Merfolk yet because it's the only blue card we've really seen. But if I pick up the Conquistador, maybe we can lean towards vampires. That'd be pretty sweet. All right. I like Raptor Hatchling. We're not really in that color scheme. Although, to be fair, I don't know. I mean, there's another Run Aground in blue. There's a Shining Aerosaur to go along with our Imperial Aerosaur. In white, if we make this a little smaller, can we see the power and toughness? There we go. It's 3/3. So we could get a 3/4 on top of our 3/3. There's also a Skittering Heartstopper, which I don't mind, but I feel like there are going to be a lot of those going around late. Raptor Hatchling is pretty awesome. The Emergent Growth is a nice, pump spell or a combat trick. Well, it's a sorcery, so on your turn. But the Raptor Hatchling is a lot better, and we haven't seen any crazy red. I mean, we saw the Unfriendly Fire, which was nice. I'm going to try this Raptor Hatchling. I'm going to pick it up, and if we see more red coming around, we can go red-white. Red-white has worked really well for me in this format, so... Well, I say in this format. I did well with it in sealed. This is my first draft, so we will see how it goes. Trove of Temptation, I'm not so sure. I've been burned by this card by playing against it. I have not used it yet. On the other hand, since we have our black vampire and our white card here, Paladin of the Bloodstained is not bad at all. I like Storm Sculptor, although we're not really in blue, despite the fact that I love blue in this set. There's another Pounce and another Ravenous Daggertooth, but like I said, I know we've been passing some green, and so in pack 2, if we were picking up green here, in pack 2 I feel like we'd get punished for it pretty hard. So I think I like Paladin of the Bloodstained here. Again, the Trove is okay, but I'd rather have a 4-drop 3/2 that makes another 1/1 with lifelink. Okay, well, Grim Captain's Call isn't really what we're doing. Seeker's Squire is not a relevant creature type, but to be fair, the only one that really is right now is this Queensbay Soldier, and I don't really want a vanilla 2-drop right now. Nest Robber's okay, but it's not a clue that red is open apart from this Raptor Hatchling. There's another River Sneak, but again, not Merfolk. I think it might be the Seeker's Squire. I like Jade Guardian, since we were talking about Merfolk, but I just don't know. There's also the Fathom Fleet Cutthroat, but that's more pirates. So I may just go with a Seeker Squire. It's a pretty solid 2-drop, and anything that says Explore on it is super solid. I like Explore probably more than any other keyword in this format. So there's a Colossal Dreadmaw. There's another Emergent Growth. There's a River Herald's Boon. There's also another Paladin of the Bloodstained. This one's foil, not that should influence our pick at all. But there's surprisingly a lot of green. Maybe I was totally wrong about green, but like I said, we're not in pack 2 yet. We'll see how pack 2 looks. Frenzied Raptor's not bad, but if we don't have a lot of... I might actually go like this. If we don't have a lot of stuff to support it, it's not as good. But a Paladin of the Bloodstained is not bad. We're a little bit higher curve. I mean, I know we have this 1 and this 2-drop, but they're both in black. Our white is pretty solidly 4-drop themed, apparently. But I'm still going to go with this Paladin. I think it's an amazing card. Okay, I'm not a fan of Encampment Keeper or Ritual of Rejuvenation or Costly Plunder. What I am a fan of is Fathom Fleet Firebrand. I think that card's great. I'm also not a Legion Conquistador fan. I've heard a lot of people saying a lot of good things, like, I heard people at pre-release saying that they thought this card was good enough, and I don't think it is. I'd much rather take a serviceable 2-drop in red in case we get some good red coming up, as opposed to a possibly okay 3-drop in a relevant creature type, but that we don't have any lords for yet. Okay, so there's another Colossal Dreadmaw, but there's Field of Ruin isn't really anything. There's another Encampment Keeper, which is bad. But there's a Raptor Companion. That's a 2-drop. It's not a vampire, but it's a dinosaur. It's a 3/1 if we're trying to be aggressive, which, vampires want to go wide. There's Mark of the Vampire as well, but I think Raptor Companion is better. And there's a Spike-tailed Ceratops, but we're trying to stay a lower curve. And so Colossal Dreadmaw and Spike-tail are not really where we want to be. So I'm going to take the Raptor Companion here. Okay, well, there's another Cutthroat, there's a Spreading Rot, there's a Sunrise Seeker. So our colors are being pretty well represented. It's just that they're bad cards in those colors. This says Explore. It's Vigilance. It's a 5-drop, which kind of sucks. I think I'm going to take it. There's a Cobbled Wings, which isn't terrible, but I don't think that we need to pick it up this early. I'm going to go with a Sunrise Seeker. I might not play it. We'll see. There's another Colossal Dreadmaw. I guess if we get a good card in blue, we can try and splash it with the Glacial Fortress. I don't think Sun-Crowned Hunters is where we want to go at this point. So I'll take the Glacial Fortress. Again, if we splash blue, we splash blue. Then this helps us do that. There's another Shining Aerosaur. That's not bad. Over the Sunrise Seeker in terms of 5-drops, because we didn't take it the first time around. So yeah, why not? Speaking of which, here's another Sunrise Seeker. There's also a Swashbuckling. I don't know that this card is good enough to begin with. I don't know that any of this is good enough. Whatever, I'll take the Sunrise Seeker. I didn't want to play the first one, so I think I'll put it in the sideboard. Sure, I'll take the Cutthroat over the Dive Down. Maybe we play it, maybe we don't. It's another 4-drop. And here's a Colossal Dreadmaw as well. I don't know why people... I like this card, but obviously not for our deck right now. And someone took a land over this Ritual of Rejuvenation, because yes, it is that bad. All right, so we get Ashes of the Abhorrent. That's not what we wanted to see at all. But there's also an Emissary of Sunrise. That card's just fine. And Perilous Voyage is okay, but Emissary of Sunrise is fine. There's no literal... Oh, well, okay. There's the Cutthroat. I was going to say there's literal no black, but there's the Cutthroat, and there's these 2 white cards plus another Sunrise Seeker. But I think Emissary of Sunrise is fine. It's either a 3/2 with First Strike, or it's a 2/1 with First Strike that draws you a land, which either way is fine. Like I said, Exploring is fantastic, so I'll take this Emissary of Sunrise. Ashes of the Abhorrent, our rare, is not good enough. That's more for Constructed, so... If that doesn't come back, I'd be pretty surprised. Okay, so there's a Heartless Pillage, which probably isn't good enough, but there's also a Sheltering Light. I would take Skullduggery too, but Sheltering Light is right there. It's 1 mana instant, give something indestructible until end of turn, and then scry 1. The card does everything you want it to do. It's amazing. That card's fantastic. If I could pick up more than one, I would. Yeah, I'm taking that easily. Entrancing Melody is a good card, but it would be a splash at best, and this is double blue, and the card is great, don't get me wrong, but I think in this case for our deck, I'm going to take the Sheltering Light. It may be the wrong choice. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did I do it wrong? Did I do it correctly? Here's another Raptor Hatchling. But there's a Territorial Hammerskull, and if I'm going to take a dinosaur, I would much rather take this guy, because this guy doesn't need to be in the dino deck. Neither does this guy, technically. I mean, it's a 1/1 body for 2 that when it takes damage / dies, you get a 3/3 trample. But still, I think Territorial Hammerskull is fantastic. Headstrong Brute's good, but not for our deck. And Slash of Talons, if it comes back, I will take that. There's also a Contract Killing. That is a relevant thing to consider. That's tough. I like the Hammerskull a lot. I don't know that we are particularly aggressive in our deck. And so if that's the case, I mean, Hammerskull is great regardless, but if we're not trying to turn everybody sideways all the time, Contract Killing is probably better. It's the best removal spell in the format that's not at rare, I think. I could be wrong on that. I haven't memorized every card, but I'm going to take it. It's just that good. It's exactly what you want to be doing. Glorifier of Dusk is a thing. I will definitely take that. Legion's Judgment is also fine, but unfortunately at times that could be a sideboard card, whereas this is just great. It's a 5-drop, which is unfortunate, but maybe we put it in instead of the Sunrise Seeker. It is a vampire. Hopefully we can gain some life to be paying some life, give this thing flying if it needs it, vigilance if it needs it, and it's otherwise a 5-mana 4/4, which is not terrible. So yeah, I'll go with the Glorifier of Dusk. Like I said, over the Sunrise Seeker, we'll get rid of that. Well, apparently they want us to have a Desperate Castaways. I really don't want one, but because we're not in the Pirates deck, so we're not making a lot of treasure, so we're not really going to have an artifact. But it's kind of the only thing in this pack. What the hell's going on? There's another run of ground. I talked about like Nat and Storm Sculptor. Those are great cards. This card's not good, despite that it's an uncommon. Same thing, like I said, with Trove. I'm looking forward to trying Trove. If you come back in a couple of weeks, maybe I'll be playing it in a deck, but this week is not that week. If I'm going to take a Desperate Castaways, it's going to be the foil one. I just don't know that I'm going to play it. We'll see. It's a fine blocker, and again, if we're not trying to be aggressive, that's not the worst thing in the world, but it's just because it's the only thing in this pack. I'm not taking another 5-drop. Okay, there's a Lurking Chupacabra. We do not have a ton of Explorer, although there is some. But there is the Deadeye Tormentor. I like that guy. He is a pirate, which is relevant that it's not a vampire like this Skyblade of the Legion. So maybe I'm supposed to take that instead here. I don't mind Deadeye Tormentor. It is a 3-drop as opposed to a 2-drop. The format is supposed to be faster. I mean, this doesn't... You know, this is a 1/3, so it's not necessarily attacking a lot for us. But I'm still going to take it here. It is a flyer. It is a vampire. We still have another pack to go. We might get lucky enough to get hooked up with vampires. So we'll see. Okay, here's another 2-drop vampire. That's pretty sweet. There's a 4-drop black card as well. There's a Pterodon Knight, which we're not going to have the dinosaur for. There's the Looming Altasaur. I saw this card earlier as well. It's a 1/7 for 4. If it were the only card in our colors here, I wouldn't hate picking it, but Bishop Soldier is definitely better for us. It's a lower drop. It's a vampire. It's what we're doing. If that wasn't here, it would probably be the Direfleet Interloper because it explores, it has menace, it's a 2/2. But yeah, I'm going with the Bishop Soldier here. Okay, well, unfortunately, I mean, Hierophant's Chalice is a thing. I don't think it's worth it. We have this Desperate Castaways, but still. And I don't think we need the unclaimed territory to cast our vampire spells any easier. I think I'll take a Demystify for the board. If there is a relevant enchantment, one that would flip into a land that's kind of annoying, then this Demystify is going to be very helpful for us. So I'm going to go ahead and take this Demystify, again, blatantly for the sideboard. We should have at least one. The Ashes of the Abhorrent came back, but so did the unclaimed territory, and again, gaining... I mean, this would be, again, a sideboard card at best. I'll take the unclaimed territory if we need it for mana. I mean, we're light on black right now. We only have 5 cards in black. 1 is a double cost. We're more heavily white, and we haven't found any blue for this Glacial Fortress, but I'll take an unclaimed territory. It's a land. Well, this pack is not for us. We have some red, so on the off chance that we're playing red, I'll take the Brazen Buccaneer since it's the best card in red in the pack. Now we have everything in blue. I definitely don't need Unknown Shores. I like Storm Sculptor. I don't think we play it even with the Glacial Fortress. And I don't know that I like Pirate's Prize any better. So I'll take Storm Sculptor. That's fine. Like I said, I don't know that we play it regardless. Okay, I'll take Vampire's Zeal. We have vampires. It's not terrible. Neither. I'll take the Trove. I'll take the Duress. I don't know that I play it. I'm not a huge fan of Duress in Limited. And a land. All right, last pack. Something good, maybe, for us to open. I'm okay with a good uncommon, a good rare mythic. Something to help us out in this deck, because I feel like we need it. A Goring Ceratops. I don't know that that's it. Goring Ceratops is 7 mana for a 3/3. That feels awful. Anointed Deacon is cool. I'm hoping it comes back, because I think I'm just going to take another Emissary of Sunrise. We only have 1 3-drop, and it's our last Emissary of Sunrise. And I like this card. It's not a vampire. That's something relevant, but neither is our other uncommon in our colors. So I think I'm going to go with this white uncommon Emissary of Sunrise over the Anointed Deacon. Again, it is a 5-drop, but it does help out. It does do some good things. If we see another one, I would probably take it, but for now, I think the Emissary is better in this situation. Okay, we have another Vicious Conquistador, another Contract Killing, a Skullduggery, a Slash of Talons. There's also a Shadowed Caravel. I don't know that I'm a huge fan of Shadowed Caravel. I think I'm going to take this other Vicious Conquistador. But over a Contract Killing, that's tough. That's kind of a tough choice. I'm going to take the Contract Killing. I think it's much more worth it. Hey, look, Opt. That card's great. Skullduggery would be fine. I'm okay with any of these 3 cards if they come back. But Contract Killing is just fantastic. It does get us treasure. That is relevant for our Desperate Castaways. But we do have to wait until we have 5 mana to be able to do that. So that kind of sucks. But I mean, if we're leaving this guy back as a blocker and then later on can start attacking with it if we've gotten enough removal to get rid of stuff, that's not terrible. Okay. There's another Bishop Soldier. There's a Legion's Judgment, a Vanquish the Weak. There's also a Wanted Scoundrels. It's not a vampire, but we don't really have vampire lord type synergies. I do like Vanquish the Weak over Legion's Judgment. They're gonna have creatures with power 3 or less. It's likely that they have creatures with power 4 or greater, but it's not guaranteed. But Vanquish the Weak is also an instant as opposed to Legion's Judgment, which is a sorcery. So I think I'm going to do that. I think our black is like super heavy removal at this point. But yeah, I assume this Bishop Soldier comes back. Otherwise, if the Legion's Judgment does, either way, I'd take those. If neither of them does and the Scoundrels does, I'd take that too. Okay, wow, lots of stuff here. Not necessarily any of it amazing. There's another Paladin of the Bloodstained. We could just play mono Paladin of the Bloodstained at 4. But I actually like Blightkeeper a lot. It's not a vampire, despite the fact that it does drain. But it is kind of inevitability, and they eventually will have to get rid of it. And it just always feels bad for your opponent to like use removal on your 1-drop 1/1 flyer. But it's a great card, so I'm going to take it. Maybe the Paladin comes back. Maybe we see another one. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Heartless Pillage, and we're not a pirate deck for the Grim Captain's Call. So I'll take the Blightkeeper and see where we go from there. Wow, there's still a Sky Terror in this pack. Why is there still a Sky Terror in this pack? I couldn't tell you. There's also a Queen's Agent. Why is there a Sky Terror in this pack still? Are you serious? That's not what we're doing. We have some red, but it's not amazing. There's a Raptor Hatchling. I like that. But a Sky Terror? Why is that still here? This card's incredible. I won an entire pre-release with Boros with this card. What the hell? Is it better than Queen's Agent? Do we just splash red now for a Sky Terror? God, it's better than Skyblade of the Legion. I feel like I have to take this card now. We do have unclaimed territory to help us cast our vampires. Maybe we just say Dinosaur? I really don't know. I'm going to take it over Queen's Agent, which may be wrong, but Sky Terror is incredible. I have no idea why that was still in the pack. That's crazy. Yeah, there's like nothing for us here now. This is weird. Some weird stuff happened in this last pack. I'm going to take another Brazen Buccaneers. It still says Explore. It has haste. It is 4 mana, though, which kind of sucks. But it's better than Sun-Crowned Hunters and a Sunrise Seeker and Costly Plunder. I'm still not a fan of Costly Plunder. So let's go with Brazen Buccaneers again. There's an Imperial Lancer, which we're not dinosaur heavy. There's a Nest Robber, a Sure Strike, another Queen's Agent, a Thrash of Raptors, which again, not dinosaur heavy, and a Vampire's Zeal. Maybe now I take this Queen's Agent. If the game goes long, we just have a 6-drop that is a 3/3 or a 4/4 lifelinker. So yeah, I think I'll go with that. I'm trying to keep my red splash light, despite the fact that Sure Strike's a fine card. We're not in dinosaurs, and we don't need hasters, and we're not going to get a bunch of dinosaurs for double strikes. So I'm going to go with the Queen's Agent here. It's expensive, but we're hoping to get that far. There's a Skymarch Bloodletter or a Raptor Companion. I think if we're trying to be faster so that we can keep up with aggressive decks, Raptor Companion is the way to go again. This does drain and is a 2/2 flyer for 3. That's tough. We are light on 3s, and we already have a Raptor Companion. All right, I'll take the Bloodletter over the Companion. Here's the Anointed Deacon. I said I would take that if it came back, and I meant it. It cares about vampires, and we've been picking them for better or for worse. So we have an Anointed Deacon to help us out a little bit. There's another... Oh, the Vicious Conquistador that we didn't pick up before. Yeah, I'll take that. Slash of Talons isn't bad either. But I think I'm okay with the Conquistador here. It gets in early, it can attack, make them lose a life early, maybe 2 life, and then if they're taking the damage, it's that as well. That's some early action for us, which is nice. If they don't play anything till turn 3, they kind of get punished. And having 2 of them is nice. Here's the Legion's Judgment. Yeah, I'll take that too. There's really nothing here. I'll take the Costly Plunder, but I probably won't play it. Mark of the Vampire, kind of same thing. I'll take it, but I don't think I'm playing it. Definitely not playing that. And a land. 2 planes as our last picks. That's fine. Well, as 2 of our last picks. Our other one was a life gain spell. So let's make this deck. We have 28 cards, but 2 of them are lands. And we're not playing Glacial Fortress because there's no white splash. We are playing Unclaimed Territory. There's no reason not to. I don't know if Sky Terror makes it in. It's an amazing card, but I don't think we play it. I think we leave that out. We need to make 2 more cuts. I don't know what those cuts will be, though. let's see if we can group our creatures separately and see what kind of spell distribution we have. We have 1-drop spells, 3-drop spells, and 5-drop spells. So odd numbered casting cost spells, and then creatures everywhere. Okay, well, we have 1 Skyblade of the Legion. We have this Desperate Castaways, which is a 2-drop, but it only blocks because unless we use Contract Killings, which again isn't until turn 5, we don't really have a way of getting treasure and or just artifacts in general. So I think what we do is we get rid of the Desperate Castaways, and I think we get rid of the Fathom Fleet Cutthroat. It destroys a creature that was dealt damage this turn. I just don't know. Like, it's a 4-drop, so it's kind of expensive. There's also this Glorifier of Dusk. No, that card's fine. And I like the Anointed Deacon at 5. It kind of helps any of our other vampires that are still on the field get better. I might just get rid of this Cutthroat. The Imperial Aerosaur is going to be great all on its own, just as a flyer. So yeah, let's get rid of this Cutthroat. And that'll be our 23. Let's see what it recommends for land. I mean, it's still probably going to be a pretty even split black to white. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 black mana symbols. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 white. So it's not a huge difference. So it would probably be, 1 more white than black. Yeah, that's fine. 9, 8 white, black. We don't need... I guess if we take out the... Yeah, I don't think we need the other land even. The unclaimed territory. I'll take out 2 planes just to put in the 2 that we got, because why not? The 2 alternate arts. Yeah, I mean, this is the deck. I really don't know, guys. I hope that you guys have a better idea. Let me know what you think. We have many more of these to come in the coming weeks, so we'll find out. I also don't know. Maybe I'll do super well with this deck. I doubt it. There are dinosaurs everywhere, and I feel like we're going to get run over. So we shall see. I'm going to save this, and I'll be back for round 1 in just a second. All right, so we are here for round 1. We have won the die roll. I would love to play first, as usual. Wow, that is a weird hand. Sure, I'll keep it. I apologize for not zooming in earlier. Apparently, they went to 6. Apparently, you have to like weirdly double click now with left and right click. The clicking the mouse wheel does not work anymore. So I apologize for not doing that during drafting. It was something that I did not know. And I kind of tested it out off camera or off recording. Okay, so they went to 6. Let's play a plains and pass. So yeah, anyway, so now we can zoom in on cards again. It just took me a minute to realize it. I apologize for that. It was the new update. Yeah, we're passing. Okay, so we drew another 5-drop. That sucks. Let's go with this so that we don't let them know our second color yet, in case it's relevant. I don't think it entirely is, but whatever. Once we play our Bloodletter, I feel like they'll have an idea of what we're doing. They are red-black, Rakdos so far. Fathom Fleet Firebrand is a fantastic card. I like that quite a bit, as you saw, because I picked it earlier. But our 2/2 flies. And then, no, Jesus. All right, well, we've got lots of high drops, I guess. Let's play the Bloodletter. The trigger goes off, and we will pass. Sweet. We're on the board. If they attack, I will let it happen. Even if they pump, I don't really care. Sweet. You got in for 2. If you do nothing else but pump, I will be more than happy with that. Nope, they just hit me for 2. That's fine. Did they play something? Yeah. Okay, Headstrong Brute is fine. I assume this is a pirate, right? Yeah, it's a pirate. Okay, great. So they have a 3/3 with Menace that can't block. Good for them. It's a great card. Legion's Judgment. Well, that sucks. But that's okay. It's I can contract killing this and be more than happy with that. Let's go like that and attack. We lose this race, but they don't know that we have like removal on removal on removal. So, yeah. Unfortunately, unless they're pumping the Fire Fleet Firebrand on our turn to block or something, we cannot Legion's Judgment it because, as I pointed out, it's a sorcery. So is Contract Killing, but Contract Killing is just outright destroy. We don't have to worry about power and toughness. So, yes, please attack me for 5. You could technically make it 7, but then you're doing nothing this turn, so I doubt it. Yeah, 5 it is. And then something. They're in red. They could have like Captivating Crew on 4. They have a Direfleet Interloper, which will explore. Okay. And they will reveal Nest Robber. Okay. And then do they put it on the top or the bottom? Or I'm sorry, on the top or in the graveyard? They put it on top. Okay. That's fine. They have a 2/1 haster next turn. Okay. Well, we have 5 mana. Let's attack. This guy is Menace 2. So we're probably going to be... I mean, we use the first Contract Killing on this guy, I guess. But yeah, let's attack first. Our opponent probably thinks we're crazy because we're just kind of not doing anything except attacking with a 2/2 flyer. But it's still a 2/2 flyer. So that's a thing. And then we will Contract Killing, destroying... I guess it doesn't technically matter, right? I guess let's destroy this one. There we go. Because this guy at least is hindered by the fact that he can't block, so I'd rather leave him on the field just in case. If for whatever reason they make us get rid of this, and we can't kill this guy, there's at least that option. I'd rather keep the one with downside on their field. Yes, hey, a 2/1 haste. Who knew? Looks like they're off land, which is good for us. I mean, they're still hitting spells and stuff, so that's not terrible. But if they have like a high drop in their hand, they're going to run out of gas eventually. Unfortunately, this is going to hurt. 7, they could make it 8, so we could go to 6 right now. Obviously no blocks. Do they have anything for 2? They have a Rigging Runner. Okay, and it's a 2/2 with first strike. Okay. Well, play a land. We have 6, 8 technically, but that's 5 and 3, but this has no targets. Thanks. Okay, so we should play Glorifier of Dusk. That'll do an amazing job of blocking, although not this guy. But we are at 7, so we kind of need to figure this out pretty quickly. Yeah, if we play... I guess the issue is if we play Glorifier of Dusk, the only thing that we could do after that is Legion's Judgment, but like I said, there are literal no targets, except for once I play it, this Glorifier of Dusk. So let's play it regardless. And although I guess if we Contract Killing, we get 2 more treasures, right? So then we would have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could actually do both Contract Killing and Glorifier of Dusk and just tap out of all of our treasures, which would probably be better, right? That's a better choice, I think. Let's get rid of this Headstrong Brute, because the Glorifier can then lock things down pretty well. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll just have to make sure that we say that one of our treasures is white, because it needs to be for Glorifier. So let's sack a treasure and make white. sack a treasure and make white. Who cares? They'll just make them all white. That's the top choice. Why not? 3, 4, and 5 for the Glorifier of Dusk. Now, unfortunately, we don't really have the life to pay to make it, but we don't really need it to be Vigilance or Flying unless they give one of their creatures Flying. I think I'm going to attack. This doesn't have Menace. This doesn't have Menace, and this has First Strike, but then they can get in for 4 and bring us to 3, so maybe I don't. Maybe I just leave everybody back. If they decide to still swing out and be super aggressive, then we can eat something and trade with something, which would be fine for us. I think that's a fine way to stabilize. And if they pump or play something big and stupid, we have this Legion's Judgment. So, and in red, that's definitely in this set. There's definitely potential for them to play things that are big and stupid. So, let's see if this holds them off. We just have to not be dumb and don't make the Skymarch Bloodletter block the Rigging Runner. Okay, good. I'm glad I left something back because they had another Nest Robber. Okay, so now I assume they attack with everything, if that's their play. Yeah, okay. So let's offer the trades with the Skymarch Bloodletter blocking the one that can actually be pumped. Okay, it's taking a little while. And then they have 2 mana. And are there... I can't think offhand of a 2 mana spell. I don't know the cards in the set well enough, which is unfortunate. But I think I'm going to block the... I don't know whether to block one of the hasters or the First Striker. I guess I'll block the First Striker. I guess it doesn't necessarily matter, because if they have pump no matter what. It's just that if they pump the First Striker, then my creature dies and theirs doesn't. Whereas I doubt that pumping the Nest Robbers would in any way make it so the Nest Robber also doesn't die. So, okay, yeah. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible. We draw an Emissary of Sunrise. That also has First Strike. That's really sweet with what they have left on board. So let's play our land and play the Emissary and tap 3. And let's explore. Yes, please. Explore away. We get a Sheltering Light. Awesome. I will definitely keep that on top. Yes, please. It lets me scry one also. Yeah. I will not attack. I will just wait, because they're stupid 2/1s. If they want to attack next turn, they're more than welcome. But they'd have to give it First Strike to be able to do literally anything. I could give this Vigilance, but then I'd go to 1. I feel like that's not what I want to be doing right now. That's a shame. We don't get to use it to its fullest capacity, but it is a 4/4 against their 2/1s, and they have not found a 5th land yet. And that's definitely relevant. If we don't hurry, they're eventually going to. That's just kind of statistics dictates that. So. Let's see what they have. They can go to combat. Please attack. Okay. Yeah. I mean, if they're going to be, like, killing their guys off, or even if they have, like, burn or pump or something, like, we're still presumably stopping everything on their board. And, yeah, I'm more than happy with this. If they... I guess they know that Sheltering Light's on top and not in my hand yet. So they could have something. Maybe burn after damage? To, like, kill one of my guys? This one, presumably, because it's the only one that actually took damage this turn. They could have the Fire Cannon Blast. No, they have a Headstrong Brute. Okay. Well, it doesn't have Menace. Although if they play another Pirate next turn before combat, then they do. But here's a Sheltering Light. Unfortunately, that means that for now I have to pass, because this represents lethal, and if they play another Pirate... then I just lose if I attack and don't give my Glorifier Vigilance. So let's just end my turn. It's unfortunate, but we get to keep up Sheltering Light, which is fine. So that if we have to double block, if we have to single block, whatever. I don't know offhand of a Hasty Pirate unless they're playing Captain Lannery Storm or whatever. Yeah, okay. Are they attacking? They are not. There we go. That's something. Okay, we get the Anointed Deacon. That's sweet. It would give it could give itself, actually. It could make itself a 5/3, and this can't block. So, yeah, I think I'll attack with my... I think I'll attack with my 3/2, and then play out the Anointed Deacon if we have to, again, if we have to double block or something like that. But at least we're getting in for something. We'll see if they have some kind of a trick or something like that. They still only have 3 cards in hand, but I'm hoping that those are just high drops that are trapped there without them having land. So I'm going to attack and start trying to get in for some damage. They can't block. And they take it. Okay. So now into the second main phase, let's play the Anointed Deacon. Still leaving up the white for Sheltering Light and ending my turn. That's pretty sweet. Hopefully we can stabilize. But any big draw from them is unfortunate for us. So we will see how that plays out. That's got to be rough. I'm assuming, I guess I always assume with my opponents that they know how to draft well enough to know, wow, okay. I'm assuming they just got really tilted. I can't imagine that they feel like they were going to lose there automatically. Like, they still were in a pretty good position, but we won. Do we have any kind of a sideboard in this deck? I really don't think so. This gives things lifelink. That's fine. This is... things that were dealt damage, no. Drawing cards, duressing them, Sunrise Seeker, gaining life, absolutely not. Demystify, we didn't see any enchantments, so I think we're just going to run it back. I think they got unlucky that time, so I don't necessarily feel like we're just amazing here. So let's go to game 2 with our fingers crossed. But yeah, like I was saying, I kind of always assume that my opponents know their ratio of lands to spells, but it's totally possible they don't. Like I said, I assume that person got mana screwed. It's happened to me a million times, and I'm sure it'll happen a million more. And so, I'm not going to be like, well, they clearly didn't know what they were doing. Like, there's no way to know that. And that's kind of always the answer, right? If somebody gets mana screwed, the first question is like, well, how many lands are in your deck? Like, presumably somebody who has paid money to play online knows what they're doing enough. So I'm not going to assume that they don't have the right ratio of lands to spells. I'm just going to go ahead and say that they got screwed over, and I'm going to be very cautious going into this game to not underestimate that. We didn't really see much of their deck. We saw that they had fast little stuff, but we have low drops to kind of counter that as well. The Legion's Judgment wasn't the best for us. Whoops. But again, we didn't see their whole deck. Wow, this is a terrible hand. See, so they mulliganed to 6 last game. We can mulligan to 6 this game. They kept 7. We'll go to 6. Yeah. Gross. I'll keep this hand. It's bad. This is... ugh. We'll keep it on top to get to the Shining Aerosaur, but we're not happy about it. I'd rather have low drop stuff. Yep. Let's play a Plains. And we're done. We could have Vanquish the Weak if they have something that we feel like we really need to get rid of. If they have a Headstrong Brute, I would probably get rid of that with Vanquish the Weak. The Kitesail Freebooter is cool. Okay, so they get to see our terrible hand. Non-creature, non-land. Well, presumably Contract Killing, but it could also be Vanquish the Weak. They only have 2 legal targets. But I assume they go for contract killing. I only have 4 mana, but over the next 4 turns, I could easily draw a 5th. But with their deck, I'm happy to have Vanquish the Weak. So, yep, that's what I thought. Okay, but it's until this leaves. Yeah, so I could. I mean, it would be a bad idea, but I could contract killing it to get it back. I also have my Shining Aerosaur, which they now know. So I'll keep that in mind. I'll play a Plains and pass. We drew a Swamp. I'll try to keep these in the order that they know. So they don't know about this Swamp yet, but if I'm only playing 1, they won't know that I have a second. Although it's not unheard of. So yes, I will take 1. It happens. And then they play a 2/2 for 2. Just a 2/2 for 2. Well, we did draw this. That's amazing. Unfortunately, we will do it for no value, which kind of sucks when we do play it. Okay. And that's it. Yeah, that kind of sucks. But we get a 3/3 for 4, and it'll block their 1/2 all day. So we're going to take some damage before then. All right. We drew another Swamp. Let's play the land that they know about and play the card that they don't know about in Imperial Aerosaur. We got one, and here it is. And we pass. Next turn, we have either Contract Killing or Shining Aerosaur, and depending on what they have will depend on what we choose. Let's see what, if anything, they attack with. They don't. Okay, we drew an Emissary of Sunrise. That's sweet. Let's go to combat first. If they have some kind of a kill spell or something, then we get it out of the way before they get to see what else we have. Although, of course, they know we have this 3/4, but... Okay. Yeah, I'm going to leave Contract Killing back for now. I'm going to play this more aggressive flyer that would be very difficult for them to deal with. And pass. It's only 1 more point of toughness, and they only just got their first red, so they've actually been having some mana issues in general in both games at this point. Unless they're just playing terribly wrong, I assume they only just drew that red, so... Let's see what they can now do with their second color with 4 cards in their hand. Rigging Runner with no raid, so it's just a 1/1 first striker. That seems like an odd choice, but okay. Unless they want to be going wide for some reason. It seems odd. Seems very odd. Okay, well, I will play... let's attack before playing lands. See what they do in response to these 2, and then I'll play an Emissary of Sunrise after hitting them for 6 in the air, which, if they block any of, we just have a Vanquish the Weak back. Okay, they don't. That makes sense. I don't blame them. I'll play a land, and... tapping 3 for an Emissary. And we get to explore, which is awesome. We get a Vampire Zeal. We don't really have vampires, so I guess I'll put it in my graveyard right now. I want more creatures. They're off of them. They just played a 1/1 for a 1/1 first striker for 1 with no value. So, and we have 1 removal spell, potential 2 at some point. So I'm hoping to just put threats on the board and turn them sideways. They can get in with their flyer. If they're not blocking with it, you might as well. It's the first turn you've been able to do it, because I had the flyer up last time, and then the flyer up the turn before, so... They know 1 of the 2 cards in my hand is Contract Killing, and they still don't attack. Well, at some point, this has to do something. It has to either attack or block. Otherwise, it's just doing nothing, and that feels bad. I would at least, if I'm definitely not blocking, you might as well attack with it, you know? It's only 1 point of damage, which sucks. And they have 3 cards in hand and 7 available mana. They're getting black flooded, but red screwed. Look, they got another one of these guys? That sucks. No raid. Second main phase, 1/1 first striker. I guess if I attacked with this, they could double block and all 3 would die. But that seems terrible. Okay, so they destroy my 3/4 with Walk the Plank. That's a fine card. We drew a Plains. Okay, well, we binned Vampire Zeal for a Plains. That kind of sucks. But, let's see. Do I attack with both? I don't think I do. I think I just attack here, because them trading off their stupid 1/1s for 1 seems bad for me. So I'll just attack in the air and see what they do. They do nothing. They take 3 in the air. Okay. So the question is, do I use my contract killing on their 1/2 to get back my Vanquish the Weak? They're at 8. It would cost 5 mana, which I guess I might as well play a land. It would cost me 5 mana, which would leave me with 4 available, so I could still cast Vanquish the Weak on one of their other guys. So yeah, I think I might as well at this point. It kind of sucks because if they drop something huge next turn, but they only have 1 card in hand, so I don't really know what the chances are. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Contract killing on that, get my Vanquish the Weak back, pass the turn, and leave up Vanquish the Weak to kill one of these guys if I have to. They now know contract killing's out of my hand, although I do have 2, and they know I have 2 because I used both last game. It's very unlikely that it's the only other card in my hand, because now they know I have Vanquished the Weak. So, okay, so they do Unfriendly Fire to kill my flyer, which is fine. And they go to combat. And they end their turn. They still have 1 card in hand. If I Vanquish the Weak one of their rigging runners, then they won't be able to profitably block the Emissary. Because like I said, to block the Emissary with these 2 feels bad for me. Sure, it's a 2 for 1, but yeah, I think I'm going to go with one of these and these 2 to Vanquish the Weak on the rigging runner at the end of their turn. And then draw my Raptor Companion. Okay, well, that sucks. There's still a rigging runner here, so that feels a little bad. But, let's untap those and attack first. How's that? Because even if they double block, First Strike kills both, and I only take 1 damage here. And again, unless their 2 mana is, well, even if it was Walk the Plank, that's a sorcery. So, all right, let's attack. See what they do. I'm still at 16, so even if they swing out with both next turn and I've played the Raptor Companion, I'm not blocking. I don't think that works the way you think it does. I will assign the blocking order that way. And I'll take 1 first strike damage, and both of your creatures die, and mine does not. Okay, and then I will play a Raptor Companion and a land. I might as well. I don't know that there's a reason to leave it up. But maybe there is. I don't know that I need it. I still have the treasure, so maybe I do. I'll bluff something. Maybe they play more conservatively. Who knows? I only have 6 power on board, so I can't kill them this turn. And they have a 2/1 haster, which, if they attack, I will not be blocking, because I do not care about going to 14. Okay, they didn't attack. I draw a Paladin of the Bloodstained. About time. Alright, so let's attack first. Do I attack with both? I don't think I do. No, maybe I do. Because if they trade off, then at least my Paladin is also a 3-power guy that would still die to the Nest Robber. So let's just attack. They kind of have to block, and they're basically top decking. I can't imagine what that one card in their hand is, unless it's like a big dinosaur or a double red spell or something. But I'm assuming they trade here, the Nest Robber for the Raptor Companion. Yes, they do. That's totally fine, because it's out of the way now, and my Paladin will have 2 bodies now that are no longer affected by their Nest Robber. So let's do that and play a Paladin, and we get 2 bodies, like I said. And I'll end my turn. That's fantastic. So now we can gain some life too, in case we need it, since we're at 16. Yeah. That was rough for them. I do genuinely feel bad, but at the same time, the deck was okay. I don't think it's incredible, but I think it was fine. There's something to be said about good removal. We will see you guys in round 2 in just a second. We are back for round 2 as promised. We have won the die roll once again, and we have been sent a message. Good luck, geek. That's us. All right. This is not a keepable hand, despite the 2-drop and 2-drop and 2-drop. Yeah, we just can't. We have to mulligan that, unfortunately, because that was a pretty sweet hand. Now we have 5-drop, 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 4-drop in 2 lands. That sucks. Guess we get to go to 5. We're on the play, so yeah, there's no way we keep this hand, right? Let's mulligan to 5. Well, that's so much. These are terrible. I'll keep this hand and hate every second of it. Like, Raptor Companion also feels real bad. Let's put that on the bottom. This is terrible. Great. We're doing super well. All right. Pass. What terrible hands. All right. We used all of our luck up on our opponent who got mana screwed. Hey, look, the mirror. Okay, what they have is Skittering Heartstopper, and we have nothing for quite some time. That thing's going to ruin us. Okay, hey, we got a Plains. Well, it's something. We could have played that Raptor Companion, guys, I swear. If we had kept it on top, we would have had Raptor Companion on turn 2. But they wouldn't have had to give their Skittering Heartstopper Death Touch to kill it. Yes, you get to attack us for 1. Damn it. Okay. So, hey, we drew a 3-drop that we could play. Yeah, and so they get a treasure when this thing dies. That's sweet. We actually get to play something this turn. All right. Well, from something bad comes something kind of okay. If it's a land, I'm going to be upset. Okay, it's a Bishop Soldier. I think we leave it right where it is. That card's fine. Yeah, we'll keep it there. And we have a 3/2 First Striker now. Death Touch does not do well against First Strikers. So yeah, let's end our turn. That was a sweet draw. That really helps a lot. Unless they vanquish the Wicket or something right now. We are in slightly the mirror, but we don't have, like, you know, pirates that make treasures and stuff. But they are mirroring us land for land at this point. Yeah, they want the treasure. I guess I give it to them. They have 5 cards in hand. They only have 3 lands, but that's fine. It's a single treasure. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'd rather get creatures off the board. Who knows? If they're playing 3 colors, maybe we just screwed ourselves, but we'll find out. Nope, they just played a 3-drop, but they did get the raid trigger, and now we have to discard a card. Well, I'm going to give you a hint which one we're going to discard. It's not the creature. Sure. I'll discard this swamp, because we had 4 of them in our opening hand of 5, so... Hey, a Bishop Soldier. Who knew? All right, so let's attack. The problem with attacking, I guess, is if they double block, we can only kill one and then our creature dies, but we then have, again, 2 more bodies on the field. So, yeah, I'm okay with that. I would probably kill the Heartstopper first, despite the fact that this is a... yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. They don't block, so it really doesn't matter. Or do they? Nope. Okay. So I'll play a Swamp. And a Paladin of the Bloodstained, a.k.a. 2 creatures. Which is great. Unfortunately, our lifelinker does not kill the Skittering Heartstopper. But we're at 19, they're at 17, so I'm not super concerned about, like, a, attack with all creatures swing here. They do have 5. That's relevant. And they're going to combat. Do I care? I don't think I do. Yeah, I don't care. And then for 5 mana or 4 mana, they play. Well, that's the kind of card that we would have loved to have, but we don't. But if we draw like a Contract Killing or something, or our Legion's Judgment, that'd be great. That would be really sweet to see off the top. This card's fantastic, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Card's great. Even if you'd never use the pay 7 life ability, card's fantastic. That feels bad. It's like oh my god, that's hilarious. That's really funny. All right, let's... Well, now we can't attack. That sucks. We can play our Bishop Soldier. We could vanquish the weak either of these. But I guess if we don't attack, it doesn't really matter because our 3/2 holds back either of these. So let's just play out the Bishop Soldier. If we have to block, at least we can get, block this guy. At least we can gain 2 life out of the deal. Unfortunately, they're going to gain 4, which really sucks. That is like the only removal spell we have that we did not want to draw against this 4/4. God, that sucks. Okay. They have the 5th land. Our 5th land is in our graveyard because we had to discard it because of this guy. But now they just get to attack us for 4 Vigilance Lifelink. The thing is, pretty sure if they do, I'm just killing it. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, that's not bad. So they can make it a 5/5 if they attack with it. 5/5 Vigilance Lifelink, that's not bad either. And that's just a great card. Plus it's got flying, which we can't deal with, so if they're just attacking for 1, we're on a 17-turn clock. which is bad. I mean, there's no way we don't have a way of dealing with that in 17 turns, but still. We are tied up at 17, that's cool. 2 cards in hand, 4 mana. Let's see if they have anything. They do. They don't. They don't. Okay. They were going to play something. Hey, look, a flyer to deal with their flyer. That's cool. We can't do both, but we don't have to. Vanquish the Weak will deal with this thing eventually, but I don't really care right now because we're double blocking this thing regardless. And we can still kill even a 5/5. So I'm just going to tap 3. I guess we bluff Sheltering Light if they know the cards in the set well enough. And I'll play the Skymarsh Bloodletter this way. Yes. And do we attack? Still no. Pass. Yeah. With this on the field, the only thing that's relevant now is that we can't block with like the 2 parts of Paladin of the Bloodstained, the 3/2 and the 1/1, because that only does 4 damage, and that would make this would make it a 5/5. So we want to make sure that we're dealing lethal. So it would be 5. We'd have to do it like with these two. Let's see what they do. I do not mind 2 for wanting ourselves to get rid of a mythic that lets them destroy a non-land permanent for 7 life. It would suck for them. They just go to 9 and their best creature just goes away, and then we can just freely attack with this thing. Well, I guess it doesn't go away, but it's tapped. And they can really only do that once this entire game. Little do they know, we have no bombs that that they're going to be waiting on, because that's just how our deck works. I guess our Deacon, maybe our 5-drop, but that's a common. So sometimes you just have to win with little guys and not have big bomby nonsense like this. Okay, they did do it, and they destroyed our first striker. Okay, that's a relevant thing to have done. Like I said, unless they're gaining tons of life somewhere, they can really only do that once. This does have lifelink, but we'll see. They're attacking with a 2/2. Okay. Well, I'm assuming the best thing to do here... It doesn't have lifelink, it's just a 2/2. So I'd go to 16, but then they have a 1/2 death touch and a 1/1 flyer back to block. And if we just swing out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it wouldn't kill them, but we can vanquish the weak this thing. So they would have to chump with this guy. I mean, I guess they could just go to 1 and then hit us back for 6 and gain 4. It also depends on what we draw. But regardless, I'm not blocking. All that being said, I'm not blocking. I could have blocked with my 2/2 lifelink, gained 2 life and gone to 20, but then I'm out of creature. I'd rather stay wide and like go to 16, which is not super bad for us. They do have 3 cards in hand and haven't played anything. Okay. So nothing was dealt damage this turn. That's relevant. They just play that for no value, but it is a 3/3, which is a thing. We can kill it with our Vanquish the Weak. They know we have it, though. And I actually don't know what's more important to kill, this guy or this guy. Let's attack with our flyer at least. I don't really care about taking 1 more damage from this. And if we bring them down to 7, they then, no matter what, can't use this ability until after they've attacked. So let's attack with this, because we could also attack with the Paladin, because no matter what they block with, it dies. And either this, well, if they give this death touch, this or this goes away because of it, and we can always have Vanquish the Weak as backup. So yeah, I think we do that. We can always Vanquish the Weak if they like block in an unexpected way on this guy, or if they try to kill this somehow. Oh, actually, do they not? I guess they don't know we have Vanquish the Weak. All right, the Emissary saw the Bishop's Servant, or Soldier, or whatever. All right, so they're blocking with the 1/2. Presumably giving it Death Touch. Okay, so in response to the Death Touch, we just kill it. That'll be this guy. 1, 2, 3. Sure, it's dead. Great, and they take 2 flying. Their Death Toucher goes away. And that's my turn. I have no cards in hand. They have 3, which feels bad. We're just top decking now. But we do have both of my lifelinkers back to block with. It just doesn't kill their 4/4. So I would just chump with the 1/1. I'd gain 1, they'd gain 4, but I wouldn't take any damage. If that's what they do decide to do, which we will find out right about now. It would only make sense. I have literally no cards in hand. There's nothing I can do to kill this thing. So I can block, take 3. Sure. I could also just not block, take 7 and go to 9. That feels bad. So yeah, I guess I'll chump here. Take 2, essentially. Net take 2, and they gain 4 and go to 11. They could use this ability now at any time, but they would go to 4, which is a little dangerous. So I don't really know. But they have 6 mana, 2 cards in hand, and they end their turn. We draw. Glorifier of Dusk. We do have some life, so that's a thing that we could do. Presumably it just gets killed, but that puts them to 4, which is nice for us. See, the thing is, like, if we attack with anything but this, it just gets blocked by their 4/4 and dies. So let's go to combat, attack with a flyer, and bring them to 9. Unless they have like a kill spell or something, which is possible but not likely right now, because they probably would have used it by now. Yeah, okay. And then second main phase, we just play out our Glorifier. Sure. Let's see how that works for us. These two are fine blockers to get rid of their 4/4 if they attack with it. And we can just give this flying if we really have to, but we wouldn't. Like, we shouldn't have to activate either of these abilities on our opponent's turn. It should really only be on ours. This blocks this 3/3 all day. It could also just trade with the 4/4 on its own, and this could trade here and this here. So I think we're doing okay, but we're not amazing. This thing is a big deal. I don't think they want to go to 2, though, because we do have this flyer. They have a way to block it once, but they also don't know. I don't even know, obviously, what we're going to draw. So at this point, I'm just waiting for a contract killing to come off the top so we can get rid of this 4/4 if we have to. All right, so we can do it now. They have 2 cards in hand. It's definitely possible that they could have some kind of a combat trick, or not really bounce because that's in blue, but they could definitely have combat tricks. Okay, so they're just attacking and then wait, what? Oh, because it is vigilance. Silly me. Okay, that's fine. So they're attacking, but then killing this. We have no way of saving it, so that is fine. That happens. They go to 2, but then I'm just going to double block. They'll gain 4 life, but I gain 2, and again, gain 2, take 3. So let's double block. If they get us, that's totally fine. Like if they have like a spell or something, but it's our only play right now. It's our only line, because we have nothing in our hand, and we just have to get rid of this 4/4. Sure, they're only at 2. But they're going to gain 4 life. They're making it 5, but that doesn't matter. It still dies. That's why I did it this way. I guess so they can gain the extra life, and because it wasn't doing anything else. But it's not blocking the 2/2, which is fine. I guess we have to see what we draw. So they play nothing with their 6 mana. Now we draw Sheltering Light. Sweet. Okay, but we're at 13. All this damage would bring us to 7, whether they attack with this or use its ability. We don't win the race, but it also depends on what we draw. So let's go to combat and attack. They don't know what we have in our hand, but same to them. We don't know what they have either. And I'm just going to pass, I guess. We have Sheltering Light if they try to kill our creature somehow. That came a turn 2. I literally thought about that too during that combat, that it would be really nice if we just had Sheltering Light to save our 4/4, but we didn't. And so now they swing out. It just makes sense. Okay, so they want to use the ability instead? That seems weird. Or they just leave it back to block, I guess. So we take 5 and go to 8. That's fine too, I guess. I don't know what they drew. a land, so they have 8, and they do nothing with it. Well, we drew a Queen's Agent and don't have the mana for it. I was kind of afraid of that. But it is a 3/3 lifelinker that explores. The second we draw a land, it's going to be fantastic. So I think what we do is they are anticipating blocking when we attack. We can Sheltering Light, scry 1, and try to find that land. It won't happen for us this turn because we will have used a land to play Sheltering Light. But we get to get rid of their creature and scry 1, so we gain some value as well. Let's see what happens. We go to 1 on board if they don't block here. Okay, they blocked. That's fine. I'm going to Sheltering Light in response to the pump. Oh, they can't. Silly me. It's only attacking creatures. So that's totally fine. I guess we just end our turn. The problem is I think we have to crack off this Sheltering Light at the end of their turn on our creature, whether they try to kill it or not. Because it gives us the scry, which is important. Yes, you attack for 5. I go to 3. But I need that land for this Queen's Agent, because it would allow us to block either one of these and live with the life gain. It's the only play we have at this point. I guess, depending on what Sheltering Light shows us. Because even Contract Killing doesn't really get us there. So yeah, no blocks. And then do they play something with their 8 mana? Okay, they play a Paladin of the Bloodstained. That's fine. They get a 1/1 with lifelink as well. That's really not good for us. But regardless, I think I have to crack off this Sheltering Light to be able to scry 1 to make sure that I hit either my land drop for my 6-drop or whatever this card is. We shall see. Okay. It's a land. It stays on top. That's it. We have to put all of our faith in this. I don't actually... Does it not even get us there? 3. So we gain 3 off the block, but then take 3. Well, we'd have to leave this guy back, I guess, as well. Okay. So we play a land. We leave this guy back. We would take 4, but gain 3. Well, we'll see what we explore as well, because we're not attacking with this guy this turn. We can't. We have to live. Okay. Tough, tough, tough. Let's see what we explore. If it's not helpful, it goes straight to that graveyard. Or if it's a land, it just goes in our hand, and that kind of sucks. Yes, we explore. What do we get? It's a Vicious Conquistador. It goes to the graveyard. It is not good enough. Now, if the card under it is a land, that sucks more, but still, it's not what we want. I'd rather a removal spell. Although now we have a 4/4 lifelinker that can just eat stuff, and this kills everything but their 3/3. So I'm fine here. I don't know what their 2 cards are, but seeing as how they played a Paladin last turn, which is a fine play, don't get me wrong. I mean, we have 2 of them, I believe, ourselves, so it's a fine card, but I don't know. This is a little stressful. We will see if we can live. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we will break even, right? So we if they swing out, of course. We block, or I guess block the 3/2. So actually, if we block the 3/2 with the 2/2, then we gain 1. We net gain 1 life, because we would take 3 but gain 4, and this would still live. So they actually have kind of bad attacks this turn, which is nice. I mean, obviously we don't know what they have in their hand, but that's nice to have been able to play that. We'll see if and how they attack. They might just go all out. Yeah, okay. All right, so our only line is as follows. We only have one way of doing this, and again, if they have any kind of trick or anything, then we just lose regardless, but it's the only thing we can do. Our 4/4 blocks their 3/3 to eat it. Our 2/2 trades with their 3/2. We take 3. They gain 1, but we gain 4. And so we go to 4, and they go to 6. But we still have a 4/4 lifelinker here, which over time, I mean, it depends on what we draw, but over time, hopefully we will be able to stabilize a little bit more, because they may have just, hopefully, just swung out to be like, oh, he's almost dead, let's just try to kill him. They're not tapping mana quickly, which means they did not have this line in their head, I assume, unless they're slow rolling us. They're paying costs. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, so they give -1/-1 and +1/+1. So they don't trade. This gets eaten. But I think math-wise, we break even. So we don't lose this turn, but we do lose both of our creatures. And they keep their 3/3. So we're not dead, but we are pretty handily screwed. So let's see how this works out for us. Skullduggery is a great card. I like it a lot. Did we? I thought we put the other one in the graveyard, didn't we? We didn't? Yeah, we did. It's right here. Look, it's right here, I promise. Oh my god, that sucks. Okay, so let's just work this out. We play this. We block their 3/3. We still take 3. We lose. So let's concede this game and go to the next one. Stupid. This was a very interesting game in terms of cards that we had and that we drew. What a weird game. Did we see any enchantments? No, not that I recall. So yeah, I think we just run it back. That was fun. I actually liked that one quite a bit. That was a silly, silly game. We saw that 4/4 lifelinker. That was the most dangerous thing that we saw, but we didn't see either of our contract killings or our Legion's Judgment. We saw Vanquish the Weak. And then we saw the Sheltering Light on the turn that we needed it to save our 4/4 that could have killed it as well. So, yeah, let's... yes, I would love to play first. Well, this seems like a bad keep, but I'm also kind of tired of mulliganing. We do have the Vicious Conquistador. If we draw 1 white, which is our more prominent color, we're fine. And we would need 2 of anything for the Anointed Deacon. This seems real bad. I don't really want to mulligan to 6, but I think we have to. This is just not good enough. So let's mulligan. Ugh. Oh, it's so much worse. I'm keeping it, but oh god. Because now we still need the white, but we at least get to scry, but we're on the play. So yeah, no, this sucks. This is just bad all around. Bad, bad, bad. They're deciding whether to mulligan to 6, which is good. Either they've walked away from their computer, which is bad for us, or they're actually considering it, which is good for us. Oh, they did. They mulligan to 6. Well, we're keeping. They're deciding whether to mulligan to 5. They didn't. This is on top. I'm going to bottom this because we still can't play it, and we're waiting for white mana for other things. So let's go like this and pass. Our original hand of 7 was arguably better because it had a 1-drop. It actually had something we could cast. This hand, on the other hand, does not have something we could cast, and now it does. Thank God. Okay, well, now I think we're okay. If we draw another land, I think we're even better. Because then we have the Paladin as well, but we just have Emissary, and then if we don't draw another land, other Emissary. So this is great. Okay, we have one of those ourselves. It's a great card. It explores. Is it a 2/3, or do you get another land? That's a cool card to see in your hand if you're... It's a Plains. Okay, so they get to get a Plains in their hand. But yeah, that's a cool card to see if you've mulliganed and you're kind of mana screwed. Well, you're a turn too late. We're gonna play the Emissary of Sunrise. I also like to explore with my cards, and I'm gonna keep this on top. That's a great card. But mine's a 3/2 with first strike, and yours is a 1/2. Okay, that's my turn. Well, They're attacking. I will sure block. Because even if they kill it, I have another one. So I'm not super concerned. Because clearly they have a way to kill it, because why would they have attacked? Okay, Skullduggery happens. First strike, that's fine. Skullduggery is a card that they've used now twice. So they might have more than one, but it obviously was not in the same game. So it could just be their only one. Either way, I think that I just run it back with another Emissary of Sunrise. It actually might be better to play the Bloodletter first, because it's a good blocker for their 1/2, and they lose a life, and we can then attack next turn and play the Emissary afterwards, even if we don't draw land. And if we do, we can still play the Emissary and the Vicious Conquistador. So, yeah, I like these plays. Or we could just play the Paladin. It really depends on what they do. But, yeah, I assume that this 2/2 now holds back this 1/2. These Emissaries of Sunrise, turns out they're very good, if you were unaware of that. I like this guy quite a bit. Definitely not upset. I think we first picked it, what, twice? Or I think the second one got passed to us, but still. Great, great card. And especially in a deck with, like, no bombs. Like, we have some sweet uncommons, but we did not open well. Let's put it that way. All right. Like I said, I assume they don't attack. They play a Ruthless Knave. That's a card. They can make some treasures by sacking some stuff. Thankfully, this Emissary does really well to block it. Do you attack? You have 1 black mana open, so I feel like you don't attack. But I could be wrong. You could bluff it again. Skullduggery is 1 black. Yeah, okay. Good. And another Paladin of the Bloodstained. Well, we didn't draw a land, so we're clearly just playing the Emissary this turn. Because it was going to be a tough decision whether I wanted to play Emissary and leave up Sheltering Light or play the Conquistador as well. But now I'm just going to attack for 2 flying because they have no way of stopping it. And then whether this Explorer gets me a land or it doesn't, I'm going to have a good blocker for either of their creatures. So that's something I'm happy about. They can't block, so I don't know what they're thinking about. Okay, good. Then let's play the Emissary. Let it explore. And see what we see. It's a swamp. Well, that's fine. Still totally fine. In fact, we can play something with that swamp. And then we'll pass. That was cool. You know, if it was a Plains, we would have had Sheltering Light up as well. Either way. And it's our 4th land, so we can start dropping some Paladins. And if we draw another land next turn, we can drop a Paladin. Well, it would have to be a Plains, but I was going to say we could drop a Paladin, keep up Sheltering Light. Okay. Well, at least they're running down their clock to meet ours. We took a while talking about stuff. So now we get to wait for them to not really even make decisions. I think they're just like waiting it out. But we'll pass through their turn as well. If we have to block, we can block, but this Vicious Conquistador is doing a whole lot of nothing for a little while. I guess if this guy dies, and this is the only thing left, we could totally attack with it, but just to make them lose 1 life, it feels kind of bad. Not having this card on turn 1 is kind of not good. But I feel like against what they've played so far, it's a good thing that we didn't keep that opening hand. Obviously, we don't know what we would have drawn, but I'm glad we mulliganed. we're looking okay so far. Wow, they're really running down their clock. We do again have even mana though, 3 swamps and a plains each. But from what I've seen so far, I think my creatures are just a little bit better. We do have 2 paladins in our hand too, which is amazing for us. I was going to say, I'll block either way. I really don't care. You know what? If it's just this 1/2, I'll block with my Conquistador. Did I click through blocks? That's interesting. Well, that's unfortunate. Whatever, it's 1 damage. I don't really care. And I have to discard a card. I think at this point, I think it's more relevant to have bodies on the field. So I guess I'll discard this Sheltering Light. That kind of sucks that we didn't block, but that's what I get for F6ing. And then forgetting and clicking OK. So yeah. All right, well, we drew the plains. Now we could have played that Sheltering Light. Too bad. Let's go to combat and attack with just this. We'll keep our first striker back as a blocker and hopefully remember to do so instead of clicking through blocks. And then we'll just play the paladin post-combat. All right, land. Let's play the shiny one first. Cancel. Thank you. Perfect. And pass. Because we get the vampire as well. And that's our turn. And of course, the token is also foil. Sweet. Okay. Now they're going to combat. They're still attacking. This time I'm actually going to block. Like I should have done last turn with this 1/2. If they're just doing it for the raid trigger, then these two will just bounce off of each other. But if they're really trying to kill my stuff, then that's something different. Just a raid trigger, presumably. They do have 4 mana. Nope, that's not a raid trigger. They could still have it. They do. And we have to discard our paladin, which is bad, but fine. Yeah. Not super happy about that. And we draw a land, which I'll play just in case we draw that Queen's Agent. I don't know how many more Deadeye Tormentors they have, but let's do that. Let's go to combat. And let's be a little bit more aggressive. Let's attack with both of these. If they want to trade off one of their guys, that's kind of why I'm doing it. So let's see. Because otherwise, yeah, that's fine. Totally fine. Yep. It happens. And that'll be my turn. My 1/2 blocks their 1/2. I don't have anything to stop a flyer. I mean, technically I have this flyer, but I'm not going to leave this back. Attacking for 2 every turn to stop 1 when I'm at 20 and they're at 13. Let's see what they do. Just the flyer. Fine. Totally fine. 19 it is. 4 mana and 4 cards in hand. They will play Territorial Hammerskull. I almost played that myself. It's a really good card. And it's good if they want to start being aggressive. They can tap down my first striker and start attacking me with bigger stuff. Let's see what we draw. Something good? Nope, a swamp. Okay, well, I guess the problem is... Yeah, I mean, even attacking with this first striker isn't good because they have a 2/3, so it's going to get tapped. I might as well attack with the flyer. As of right now, I'm winning the race, but I'm going to see how much they're going to be attacking with next turn to determine whether that stays the case. Because they need to put a stop to this 2/2. This 2/2 is going to kill them. And they can stop it once, right, with this thing. And they can stop it, and again... They can't pump. The pump is only on attacking. So now they attack with presumably everything. Not everything. Okay, so they're leaving this back to pump one of these things that I'm going to block. Okay, no, they're not. All right, well, I can't stop that regardless. And they're just going to tap my 2-1 because it's a first striker, and that was what was holding back all of their attackers. So I think what we do in blocks is we use the Vicious Conquistador and the Vampire to block their 3-2, and we take 2, 4, 5. And we gain a life, so we take 4 and go to 15, which is fine, totally fine. Yep. And then with 4 mana and 4 cards in hand, which they've had for many turns now, and been able to play stuff every time, which is pretty sweet for them, I'm having the opposite problem. Okay. So they get a March of the Drowned to get back 2 of their pirates, which is a fantastic play for them. It's back in their hand. They did attack this turn, so they can play that Tormentor and make us discard this sweet swamp that we have. Damn shame. Damn shame. Gotta get rid of this sweet swamp. Okay. Drawing a contract killing. Well, that's something. Get to get rid of that Hammer Skull and lock down the board again, which is really nice. Kill the Hammer Skull for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have more mana, though. That's always what you want. All right, let's attack with our Flyer, and our first striker can be back on blocks. They got their Ruthless Knave back, but still, that's just getting them treasures, which they actually technically might need, right? That's somewhat relevant. They can tap 3 and use it, and then have 2 treasures and a 3rd land, so they could do it again. Excuse me. But yeah, no, that was a sweet draw of that contract killing. We got rid of the Hammer Skull. They can attack with this 1/1 flyer. They could like pump either of these guys. Oh no, they're not vampires. So they actually can't. They can only pump itself, but it doesn't have vigilance. So yeah, this thing is doing kind of nothing right now. It can attack for 1, but again, I'm pretty sure I win that race. So yeah, we're good here. Again, I don't know what they drew, but if they're attacking, I'm gonna block. So, unless it's just with their flyer, of course. Then I'm just taking 1 and I don't care. Yep, I go to 14. Totally fine. What next? Okay, they replay the Knave. That makes sense. And is not a surprise. And now they play a Blightkeeper. That is a surprise, but they're nowhere near 8 mana. But they do have 2 1/1 flyers now. And I just have another land. Well, that sucks. Okay, let's attack for 2 and see what happens. I said okay. At least I thought I did. Okay. Do they chump, or do they try to leave them both back to block next turn? Yep, both back to block next turn is my assumption. They don't know what we drew. They could always, I guess, try to play more of these or do more shenanigans like that to stop us. Game 3 is going to be super awkward with this clock, but their clock's not much better, so. Tapping 4 for Ixalan's Binding on our 2/1 or on our flyer. The 2/1's the only thing holding them back, so yep, that sucks. We take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We just go to 4. I guess depending on what we draw, we can, well, we'll just lose. We don't even go to game 3, so. Oh, they don't attack with everything because they could leave the blockers back. Yeah, I guess they don't know what we have in our hand. I know what we have in our hand, and it sucks. All right, they end their turn. We draw a land, which means we can attack, they block, and we lose. So, good games. It's been a pleasure. So we are 1-1. We will be back with round 3 in just a sec. We are back with round 3 once again. We get to play first. It helped us once, then it didn't help us after that. We have a sweet opening hand, so I will definitely keep. It's very low. Hopefully we draw some of our high drops later, but this is sweet. I'm not upset by this hand at all. We have a 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. Our curve is sweet. Yeah, all about it. We get to do lots of exploring and have, late game problems for our opponent, I guess. Whatever. Flyers seem to have been doing pretty well, as we've noticed. And I'm going to pass. Yeah, after some bad other hands, this is pretty sweet so far. They've done nothing, so now it's our turn. Yeah, see, here's a high drop. All right, let's attack first. Don't give them a reason to have more information before deciding what to do with their mana if they can. And then we just play our Squire and explore. Yes, please explore. We get a land. All right, well, I mean, that's something. Put the 6-drop back here. We just have 2 lands. We have our Emissary. We're doing okay. We could Vanquish the Weak and just attack for 2. Or we could play the Emissary, and again, whether we explore or not, I think we're fine. The problem is if they keep it back, then our Seeker's Squire can't attack. But still, I think we're okay. We need 2 more lands over the next 4 turns to get out this Queen's Agent on curve, but we'll see. Yeah. No attacks, end your turn. Well, there's a 5. That's cool. We only need 1 more land to play that. Do we do that yet? No, we do not. That would be silly. Let's attack first with just this one. It's a very, very slow clock. But we saw that 2-2 get there. Or get close to there, I should say, last game. So let's play the Emissary. Let's explore. It's a creature. It's a 5-drop again. I'm going to keep it on top and hope there's a land under it, because that is a great card. And we'll pass. Vanquish the Weak is here. We don't know what they're playing yet. They are in red and green, so presumably dinos of some kind are about to be coming our way, which is a problem. We might be able to fly over them, but yeah, we'll see. This combo of this on 5, this on 6 seems pretty sweet. They play Cobbled Wings. Right now, that doesn't do much. I mean, I guess it makes this thing fly over and be able to deal us 2 damage if they really want to. Or leave it back and stop our 1-1 from attacking. But they also know that we have a 3-4 next turn that flies. So, but presumably the Cobbled Wings is really here for just dinos, so that dinos can fly. I've used it for that very purpose, and it works quite well. So... But it says they're waiting for them to pay costs, so they're either playing a 1-drop spell or they're equipping. But I don't know what's taking so long. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're still fine. Game's been a little laggy because everybody's playing right now, because it's not, at the time that I'm recording this, the set hasn't released yet, and so this is the only place you can draft it unless you've won enough product to draft with friends privately, or unless your store is doing something very, very wrong. Either way, really. But I know this is going up on Saturday, so actually, since we have 2 seconds to talk, I hope that you guys have gotten a chance to draft if you like drafting. Let me know how you've done so far in the comments. I know, we had pre-release last weekend, and I did okay, right? I played in 4 of them. We opened a bunch of packs on the channel, so if you haven't gotten a chance to see that, I'm sure that'll be linked at the end, and you guys should definitely go check that out. But I'm hoping to do a little bit better in Ixalan Limited than I did, or Ixalan Draft, I should say, than I did with Hour of Devastation. It just wasn't my format. I didn't really like it. Maybe it didn't really like me, but either way, I didn't do super well. So this time we clearly don't get a trophy, although we're fighting in this match for prize. So we'll see. There's nothing's happening. Oh, they lost connection and then joined. Okay, that was what it was. Well, hey, they equipped their creature. They lost a bunch of time, which sucks for them. Do they attack? Nope, they leave it back. Okay, well, we have nothing to play except they're tapped out. So I think the best thing to do is just to kill their only creature and then swing in with everything for 5. Because why not? Okay, so they just forfeited? Maybe they didn't have anything in hand? Maybe they just got tilted because they have to like check their connection or something? Whatever, we won game 1. We didn't see any enchantments. We saw the artifact, but Demystify only destroys enchantments, so this is an okay hand. I'm not super happy with it, but it'll work for what we want. We have a flyer. They seem to not be happy about flyers. Cool. That's their turn. On ours, we draw another flyer, and we get to play a Vicious Conquistador. So that's a thing. They have both colors again. That's a thing that's relevant. But they end their turn, which means they're taking 2 this turn. Let's play a land. Let's attack for 1 and pass. Triggers go off. Everybody's happy. 3 mana. They play a vehicle. A 4/3 crew 1 vehicle. But they have no other creatures, so let's play a land. Let's attack. And same thing. They go to 16. Next turn, we have our... Oh, we can actually make this guy fly. They end their turn. I don't know what's going on, but I guess I'm okay with it. I'm going to play this pre-combat to make our guy fly. Yes, they've F6'd, so they're not doing anything to stop this. So let's attack and pass. They go to 15. Nope, 13. I lied. I was like, that didn't seem right. They have 5 mana, 5 cards in hand. They play an Unfriendly Fire and kill my 3/3. They're going to be upset. Next turn, they're going to be very upset because I'm just going to play this 3/4. Well, or do I play the Deacon? I guess I play the Deacon, right? He's better on 5 right now because this guy's a vampire. So we go to combat, buff this dude. That's awesome. Yes, please. And attack for... They just go to 9. Is Vicious Conquistador gonna get us there? That is not what this card is in this deck to do. I'm just throwing that out there. That is not why I drafted this card. Was to win us the game. This one creature brought them to 9. That's amazing. Yeah, sure. Okay, it's a land. Well, we can't attack this turn. That's unfortunate. They just have a 6/6 trampler, but we do have an flyer, which they have already gotten rid of one of our other guys. Do we just get in here? I think, well, I guess they can, I guess crew doesn't really matter, right? So, whatever. Do we, I think if we use the Deacon here, and then just attack with both, they just go to 6 because they can only block one thing. Yeah, I'll definitely use its ability. Yes. This might be dumb, but I'm going to do it anyway because this is funny. I'm enjoying myself. We pass. Yeah. They lose 1 on attacks. They go to 8. Oh, so actually I lied. They go to 5, and then they can take 3 in the air next turn, and yeah, whatever. I'm not blocking a 6/6, at least this turn. We have removal. We have stuff coming up. You could very well think, yeah, okay, that's fine. That makes sense. You could very well think that was a dumb move, and I may pay for it here. We'll see. But, because they have a 7/7 trample. And this card's garbage. Why would you play this? Ugh. Okay. They have 1 card in hand. So they're just drawing 3, discarding 2 at random. So they'll only have 2 cards left in their hand. Let's see what they discard. They're discarding... Come on. It's got to be 2 things at random, so... It's another of these and the Cobbled Wing. I was going to say another Cobbled Wings, but they didn't play it this game. So, okay. Well, they have a 5/5 Trampler. Whatever. They shared a card type because they were artifacts. Alright, well, we can't... We can play a land. We can tap 3 and play the Emissary and explore. If the Explorer shows us something relevant off the top, it could scare them a little. Yes, please. Well, it's a Vampire's Zeal. We can make this 5 power with First Strike, so I guess we leave it on top. It'll only get rid of this 5/5. It would not get rid of the 7/7, which kind of sucks. But if they play something small, we can kill it with Vanquish the Weak, although they have not really been doing that. Okay, so now this is 5 power. Oh, okay, so on our turn, actually, I mean, yes, I guess, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not attacking. But I guess we could save Vampire Zeal and on our turn attack for 7. And if they don't leave something back, like if they attack with both of these and then play something small, we can just kill it with Vanquish the Weak, which they would presumably just crew in response. But, okay, so they don't have anything small. They literally haven't played a single small card that can be targeted with the Vanquish the Weak. They just have tons of really expensive stuff that if we are fast enough, hence why that Vicious Conquistador did such a good job. So they just attack for 8 trample. We go to 12 because I'm not blocking. I'd rather leave my guys back to be as relevant as possible. And we have Vampire Zeal, as we know. Vanquish the Weak does nothing here for us. But we can use this to kill? Well, okay, so both of these will have 5 power if we use the Vampire Zeal on this. So we could actually kill both of these. The problem is then they have an 8/8, and one of these will still be alive. Actually, no, both of them will. Nope, I lied. Because this is what's giving First Strike. So we can't, they won't both live. Only one of them will. And it would be this guy. And then we'd have to chump, take a lot, take like 6 and go to 6. It's not ideal. But I think we still attack. They saw this card, right? So that's our problem. But we're attacking with lethal twice. Like, we're representing lethal with this, but we're attacking with lethal no matter what with this guy. So they have to block with both. Yes. They have 1 card left in hand, so I have to hope that I draw removal for this, but I still think it's our best bet is to just attack with both. They have to block, because if they don't, we just win. With the Vampire's Zeal, they crewed. Okay. So that they don't lose this guy, I guess. That kind of makes sense. But let's see how they block. They block that way. No, they don't block that way. They block that way and that way. Okay, so the question is, how do we want to do this one? This is dying no matter, like these two are just trading with each other. If we give it Vampire's Zeal, then it lives, the boat dies, but the better play is do Vampire's Zeal on our first striker. 3 creatures will die, but the first striker lives. They have 1 red mana. So yeah, all of that happens. They still have a 5/5 that can make 4/4s. So we just lose, right? Yep. 13 damage. They got us. Oh. Okay. I guess they expect that we have something in our hand. And so they left it back. They had lethal. It depends, like, depending on what we draw, it probably won't matter regardless, but we'll see. Unfriendly fire on me. Okay. Yeah, you got it. It happens. Okay. They had no enchantments, but they have huge creatures. So if we take out Vanquish the Weak, there literally was not a single target for it. I guess the question is, what do we put in instead? Is this good enough? No. No, that's a life gain spell. Don't even look at that. There's this. That's not bad. Because if they just like willingly block, we just play this afterwards and kill something big. There's also this, but that's lifelink. If it was flying, that would be more relevant for us. Yeah, I think it's just the Cutthroat. We didn't see any of our removal. Again, we saw the Vanquish the Weak, but none of our relevant removal. So let's try to do that this game, shall we? That's really it, right? Costly Plunder just draws a card. Duress is Duress. Like, it doesn't get a creature, and that's clearly what they're doing. So yeah, that's really what we have. To game 3. Maybe our Vicious Conquistadors can get there. It was a risky attack. I don't think that attack in and of itself lost us the game, but it wasn't the best. All right, we have a 2-drop. We definitely want this hand. We need 1 more land to be able to play our Aerosaur, and they definitely wanted to get rid of that, so I'm going to keep this. Let's see what they do. If they have nothing low, I mean, low to the ground, if they have nothing low drop-wise, then we might be able to get there. I mean, like I said, the Conquistador did work. We drew really well for it, but it was still a 1/2 for 1 that did a pretty good job early on. They had nothing going on for themselves, so yep, we have a 3-drop now. That's awesome. Let's play this card, explore. It's a land, and we pass. That's unfortunate. It would be nicer to be able to actually like deal some damage early on. Okay, they finally have something, but it's only when it becomes blocked that it gets bigger. We're just not attacking with this guy anymore. But as we've seen, this Emissary does amazing work. Now, this is not a vampire, so it won't gain first strike, but it will become a 3/4. I still don't think it's worth it. Let's just play out the Emissary. It's a blocker for this guy, but only if it explores. Only if it gets a counter, which it does. Do we keep this on top, though? Yeah. That's a really tough call, actually. I think I'm going to keep it on top. I like it. We already have a piece of removal for 1 big creature. I'm not attacking, so. And then we have our flyer here, which, presumably they're going to burn it away or unfriendly fire or something to get rid of it because they want to. Okay, they have a 2/3. Sure. And now they have all the targets for Vanquish the Weak that we just got rid of that card for. Which is bad. We draw the Bishop Soldier, as we knew. We have 4 mana available to us. Let's play a land. Let's play the soldier since they already know we have it. It's not a surprise. And we pass. The Vampire's Zeal is a thing. If they attack, we can make this a 4/4 first striker. Enrage would still trigger, but which helps them ramp into their bigger stuff. But the first big thing they play, we can kill. All right, so they're going to Savage Stomp that. And it will become a 3/4. But ours would be bigger. No, it would still die. But theirs would too. We're just both 2 for 2ing. I guess it's worth it. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's worth it. It already has first strike, but that doesn't matter for fighting. It's not combat, so they'll just both die. Oh no, they won't. Am I missing something? Maybe I'm doing my math wrong. No, we're sweet. This is great. Yeah, they get a land, but their creature dies and ours doesn't. They sent us a message. You are really stupid. Wow. That's interesting. Okay. And another message of, you have a combat trick and decline to attack, effing idiots. Well, this person is having a rough day. And that's a shame to see. Regardless, let's see what they do. They're going to search for a land. They get it. And okay. They don't attack. That's a good choice. Okay, so we have a flyer, but we have... All right, let's go with combat. I'll attack with both of these, because if my 2/2 dies, that's fine. It trades with their guy, and I gain 2 life, and the other one has first strike. And then I'm playing a 3/4 flyer anyway, so that's fine. Okay, that happens, and then Shining Aerosaur happens. Okay, good. Yeah, obviously with the attitude that our opponent has, it would be nice to win, but that does not always work out that way. We do have Legion's Judgment for this Trampler, which is nice. And if we draw a land... Oh, no, we don't have to draw a land. We can just play both of these cards next turn. Yep, we drew a land anyway. Okay, well, we will Legion's Judgment on that. We will play a land. We will go to combat. We will attack with everybody. And then we will... Whoops. That was silly. Undo that. Okay. There we go. Now we can play the Skyblade. I was a little eager there. And then we pass. Okay. Let's see. It's looking good, but there's no... We don't definitively have this. Yeah. So they kill our flyer. That's fine. But they only have 2 mana left. So they might not be doing anything else this turn. They don't. Okay. We can make something else jump into the air and fly. So why not do it first? Nice. I guess we target this guy to spread it out a little bit more. In case they have some kind of removal, burn, etc. And then we just swing out and pass. They send us another message of, oh, wow. All right, well, we will, I hope I don't. That seems, wow. That is not, okay. Regardless, that, like I said, that person's having a very rough night. I will continue to play the game regardless of that fact. And I have considered myself a Luxac many times. We've opened a bunch of really cool stuff on the channel. in boxes, in packs, etc. In these drafts, I in no way consider myself a luck sack. If you guys have watched these, I think I'm okay, right? I'm not, terrible at drafting. I'm sure I make mistakes, whether maybe that person is correct in could have been, said it in a better way, but maybe they're correct in that I should have been attacking more or, using my combat tricks in an attack scenario as opposed to back on defense. But again, I knew the kind of cards that they had. And so I was making strategic choices in terms of being back to block their bigger stuff. And I mean, to be fair, maybe it's not every time, but it has clearly worked. Their board is empty and I've just been attacking with all of my creatures, including this pretty crappy 1/2, right? So for me, that was my decision making. That was my idea behind it. I tend to find out that I come up against like salty opponents every once in a while. I really hope that they're not just running out their clock at this point because they know that they've lost. But if they have, I've dealt with this in the past as well. So I am going to, if I have to, I'll cut all this out so you guys don't have to sit through it. Only I have to suffer through it. And if they are running their clock out, I will see you in, 14 minutes. All right. Well, it wasn't as many minutes as I thought it would be, but they are back. I think maybe they thought I went away or something, but I'll play my land that I just drew. I will go to combat and I'll swing out. They have 2 cards in hand. I'm not gonna, start misplaying now because of all of this nonsense. But I will, whoops. Oh, okay. So we're waiting for them again. We'll see. I was off doing other things, but you get a little notification that pops up in the corner. And so I just was able to click on it and come back. I had to restart my recording because I don't really feel like sifting through all this footage again to edit it. But yeah, so I've played against an opponent who's done this to me in the past as well, where they get pissed off and then they just wait out their clock because they think for some reason that either they'll win or I'll give up or something. They've just disconnected. Okay. Yeah, they just quit in general, which is fine. It's actually a lot better. I can take a screenshot of this instead and report them. This is just unacceptable. I have pretty thick skin. I don't really care. Like the names that they're calling me and the things that they're saying, I don't really care. But Magic Online is used by a lot of different people. I'm a grown man and I couldn't care less. Words are words. But if this is the kind of attitude that this person is going to have, I'm just going to report them. It's way over the top. Being tilted is one thing. I've been tilted many times, drawing too many lands or something like that. But this is just an example of being way over the line. I'm going to get off my soapbox because you guys aren't here for that. I'll be back if and when I win, just so you can see prize and things like that. But yeah, thanks. Well, we are in the last minute. I figured I'd come back in here so that when it says that I have won and I get prize and etc., you guys can at least see that part and it can be something fun and light to end it, despite the fact that this nonsense is on the right-hand side of the screen. They did disconnect, as you saw. They have not come back. It's a shame. Let me know if you agree with this person, at least again, for the fact that if I had a combat trick, I should have attacked. Regardless, either way, we are about to get some prize, which is sweet. I appreciate a 2-1. I'm still looking for some trophies, but I want to preemptively, as we're ticking down for the last 10 seconds, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry that this is how it had to end. I enjoyed myself. I hope that you guys did too. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below about really anything. But thank you guys for hanging out with me. This was great. Apparently we're at 0 and nothing's happening. There we go. Yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I really appreciated it despite how it ended. This has been Geek for All. I really hope that you guys click on our logo when it appears on the screen. Click on some of the videos if you see them. Thank you guys so much. like I said, I really appreciate all the time that all of you spend. I've been Joe. As I said, this is Geek for All. And as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks so much, guys.